The future of the West Virginia Mountaineers looks brighter and brighter every single day. And it just got a lot brighter with a huge announcement from West Virginia quarterback Nicco Marchiol today. But what else am I hearing? Could Jahiem follow suit in some type of announcement? Let's talk about that and a huge visitation week on this episode of Locked On West Virginia. Stick around for this one.
You are Locked On West Virginia, your daily podcast on the West Virginia Mountaineers, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What is up? Welcome in, guys. My name's Mountaineer Paul. I am your host, and this is Locked On West Virginia, brought to you by FanDuel, guys. The NFL playoffs are almost here, but it's not too late to get in on the regular season action with FanDuel, because right now, new customers can finish the season strong with $250 in bonus bets. That's if you win your first $5 bet. Go to FanDuel.com to get started today. Have you come down yet? Darren DeVries and company had us on cloud 9 since yesterday. And so that brought us through the holiday into the new year about the best way you can do it, right? I mean, outside of winning a natty or a championship or something like that. Well, look who's in the chat. Matthew Henry. What's up, brother? Matthew Henry, one of these visitors that we'll be visiting. Everybody give love to Matthew Henry in the chat right now. One of the visitors that will be in Morgantown this week. One of my favorite players in Morgantown this week. So, hey, look, keep an eye on that one. Hopefully we can keep him here stuck in Morgantown right here where he can make big plays for the next few years. And look, we've got our quarterback. As I just told you, Nicco Marchiol released a huge statement today as he on his future. The statement read something like this, and this is from 247 Sports. Morgantown has felt like home from the moment I stepped on campus. The unwavering support of the fans, the warmth of the community, and the brotherhood I share with my teammates have made this place truly special. I'm honored to be back for 2025, ready to finish what I came here to do, which is win games and help restore the pride and glory this incredible community deserves. Thank you, WVU, for believing in me, supporting me, and making this journey unforgettable. And with some media that says I am back. So a lot of you guys had wanted this with Nicco and believe that he is the future of the program. And I am not adverse to it at all. I think there is a lot with Nicco to love. First of all, he wants to be here. He wants to be great. And I don't think he was given the chance under the previous regime to do just that. And when you look at Nicco, he's got really everything you want. Obviously, a former Arizona Gatorade Player of the Year, 4-star guy, Elite 11 prospect, but then stunted growth under Neil Brown because let's just face it, Neil Brown was in love with another quarterback. He was in love with Garrett Green. And before Garrett Green, it was JT Daniels. And as a result, and you go look at Country Roads webcast, they did an excellent video on the regression of quarterbacks under former West Virginia head coach Neil Brown. And so I think no quarterback really can be judged fairly based off of the really, really stringent life they lived under Neil Brown. Now, I know Nicco would probably hear none of this and probably wouldn't want us to say much bad about Neil, but a lot of the players loved Neil, and I'm not saying that he wasn't a good guy or a great person or treated his players good. I just think that the environment these guys were in day to day wasn't conducive to winning, and it showed up on the field over and over again. Maybe at the group of 5 level, you can have that kind of control over players, but at this level, players will leave, they'll check out, they've got other options. So that's just the way it is, man. So with this situation, you've got Rich Rodriguez who expects to win. It's going to happen. He's done it at the highest level for years and years and years. Obviously, we had 3 straight 10 and 11 win seasons here under him. BCS play what's today's playoff game, and on the verge of a national championship at West Virginia. That's the guy we have in our locker room right now. That's the guy calling the plays. The guy that just flipped an FCS roster into a Conference USA champion inside of 3 years. That's the guy we have in this roster. He pisses hot, just like we like to say. He loves to hold the rope and spot the damn ball. That's it. We're going to come after your ass. That's the kind of player that Nicco Marchiol is. He's going to put the shoulder down and run over you like he did against Oklahoma State. He's going to split the defenders with some really nice tight balls that he's able to throw. Hopefully he layers some other stuff into his repertoire under this faster. I think it's going to do so much more for a guy like Nicco, who, just to be honest, from my perspective, isn't the kind of quarterback you leave standing back in the pocket trying to pick things apart. It's, if you speed things up for a guy like Nicco, I think he'll only benefit from that. He's a momentum type player. Nicco Marchiol was the guy that threw up in the huddle coming back from 18 points down against one of the top teams in the entire nation. Go watch that tape if you've never seen it. Nicco Marchiol threw up all over the football right before he threw a game winner to beat a top 5 in the nation team when he was just at little old Arizona. So, high school ball. So that leads me to wonder, okay, what about his running mate? Everybody wants to know about Jahiem White. And certainly there is a level of optimism surrounding this decision because, hey, look, he didn't enter the portal yet, right? And I think that's important. He's still here. And then what did he post? Oh, that's right. He got his Christmas wish. That's pretty good, right? When Chad Scott was retained. That's pretty big, right? He even openly said, I got my Christmas wish. And then when asked about that, he put the eyes emoji about whether he was going to stay. I've got people inside that think he's going to stick around. Jahiem White's a man that has options, guys. He's got major options. He could go get really, really paid. But I personally think this offense was made, truly made, for Jahiem White. He's so much like Steve Slayton, and it's kind of crazy when you think about it. He's not Steve Slayton wasn't as shifty, and he doesn't have as many juke moves as Jahiem, in my opinion. Steve was more of a one cut and go kind of back, although he did make people miss from time to time. Steve Slayton had just raw speed, that 4.3 speed that just would kill people. Jahiem is more, they're similar backs, but to me, they're a little different. Maybe Jaheim's more like Noel Devine than he is Steve Slayton, but certainly a guy like Jahiem White I'll be shocked if he didn't have 1,500 yards next year, barring injury, at least, like in his first year in this offense. He's built for it. So I appreciate that very much. And I've just told from people on the inside that there's a strong belief he's going to come back. It would be a shock at this point if he didn't. And especially because, look, you look at the portal, West Virginia they're not pursuing high-level running backs because they've got their guy, right? You've got some freshmen that we feel good about in the room. You've got, obviously, Jahiem White at the top of the room, and then you've got the kid from Louisiana coming in on a visit you hope to maybe land for depth. But, you lose C.J. Donaldson. You lose other guys like Anderson. So there are some losses in the room that you have to replace, but you don't have to replace the superstar, and that's Jahiem White. He is the straw that stirs the drink and will be for this offense this year. Hopefully he gets in incredible physical shape because he's going to need to be running this offense like they do. I'm excited to see it, guys. And like I said, I feel really optimistic about this. Every person I've spoken to expects him to come back, but we still need to wait on that announcement from him, and we need to give him that. So I think it's going to be good for us, though, guys. We're all going to be happy when the announcement comes. Up next on Locked On West Virginia, it's probably what you came here for. It's a big portal week. I've got a brand new list. Some repeats, but mostly new players reporting in for visitation this week, guys, from the transfer portal. There's some really, really, really big names on here. Some dream pie in the sky lands on this list, at least for me. And I'm going to tell you who they are. Just stick around, guys. You don't want to miss it. This is Locked On West Virginia. And this episode of Locked On West Virginia is brought to you by Game Time, guys. Guys, attending the new 12-team college football playoff is an incredible experience that brings fans together like never before. I remember the excitement of past games and can't wait to make new memories with the updated format and teams involved. Game Time has a new feature called Game Time Picks. Makes getting tickets for events even easier. It filters out the fluff to show only incredible deals on great seats, so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets. Recently, I used Game Time Picks for an upcoming game. While I was browsing through the deals, it was pretty much a breeze. I found great value for all kinds of seats across the venue at the Coliseum. The Super Deal in particular stood out at the best value for the event that I could see, and I love that I could see the seat in the app before I buy, guys, making there no surprise fees at checkout when you toggle on the all-in pricing feature, plus the on-time ticket delivery and lowest price guarantee gave me complete peace of mind because they'll give you 110% if you can find a lower price. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the app, create the account, and use Locked On College for $20 off your first purchase. The terms apply. Create the account. Redeem the code LOCKEDONCOLLEGE for $20 off your first purchase. Download the Game Time app. Last minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed. And ask yourself, what time is it, guys? It's game time. Matthew Henry. Yep. Thank you, Matthew Henry, for joining the chat, bro. If you guys don't know who Matthew Henry is, he only had 70 catches for 1,200 yards and 6 touchdowns last year, and he's in this chat. Pretty big stuff, guys. We really appreciate him for joining in. Chaz Rupert, my guy, man. I want to appreciate Big Roop at Big Roop. Helped me compile this list along with Jerry West Enthusiasts and my buddy Dylan. All in our little group chat that we have. They help me out so that I don't have to do all this work myself. And so I work them like slaves behind the scenes as they are chained to their seats at home. All they can do is put together lists for me. No. So, all right, guys. So this is the list that we were able to compile, and I just wanted to thank those guys. So what we were able to do was I took the visitations and married them with stats and a little bit of my opinion after watching tape on some of the guys, and that's what you're going to get here. So let's start with the very first person on the list, Jordan Walker, a safety out of the University of Tennessee, Chattanooga, 6 feet, 190 pounds, 60 tackles, 7 passes broken up. One of my favorite players on the list, guys, and a really good safety. I haven't spoken to him in a few days. I need to reach out to him and see where he stands on things. But I do know that's a January 2nd visit. Along with, on January 2nd, Ohio University's C.J. Doggett, guys, 6'2", 280 pounds, defensive tackle, 32 tackles, 3 sacks, 1 forced fumble for the Bobcats this past year, and one of the best players on this list. This would be one of my dream ads, guys. This guy is a run stuffer. This guy is a good pass rusher. He's very similar to T.J. Jackson in some ways. Will he be as effective as a T.J. Jackson? I don't know about that. But that's what he reminds me of. He's a very shifty, very strong defensive tackle that I think would be extremely like a big ad for us, and I'm hoping we pull him off. That's January 2nd. January 3rd, we've got Matt Henry, who was just in the chat from Western Illinois. 6 foot, 175, 63 receptions, 1,179 yards, averaged 18.7 average yards per catch and 6 touchdowns, guys. This is my sleeper. This guy has a bunch of people wanting him. West Virginia, I think, is, unless there's been more coming the last couple of days, might be the only Power 4 opportunity I've seen him get, which blows me away because, first of all, you look at the stats and the production, then you marry it up to the tape. And like I said the other day, this guy is a elite jump ball kind of wide receiver, a guy that you can throw it up, and he's got great leaping ability to go in high point balls and bring them down. And don't let that fool you. He's got enough speed to get behind defenses as well. But he is truly what Rich Rod, like a Daryl Jollo, guys like that, what we've had in the past, which is a possession type receiver who, if you need something on 3rd and 8, this is the guy. He's going to get open. And if you, let's say you make a mistake and it's too high, he's going to go up and get it. That's why he had the stats that he did, because 63 balls is a lot of balls to catch these days in one season, especially at the FCS level in Western Illinois. So be looking for him, guys, and hopefully he decides to commit to West Virginia. But he's got other opportunities on his plate as well, so you never know. Hometown kid here, guys, on January 3rd, Cyrus Trout out of Parkersburg, right there in the state of West Virginia. Youngstown State, 6 feet, 180 pounds, freshman All-American, 34 receptions, 409 yards, 5 touchdowns, 11.4 yards average. If you want to get a good kick, go turn the pit tape on and watch him score on them punks twice in one game. Now, it was a blowout, but he did his thing in that game. One was on a busted coverage. One was on a screen. And look, he is a good player, very similar to Hudson Clement type player. And he's got good speed, but he runs great routes, guys. He is in and out of routes really, really good. Somebody's coached him up well. And you're not a freshman All-American at any level without being really good and developing fast. It sucks that we passed on him the first time around. Hopefully he decides to come home this time around. This is another one of my super sleeper picks, guys. I would love to have this Cyrus Trout kid. January 4th, I'm not going to stay on these two guys very long. Marcus Watson-Trent out of Georgia Southern, Sunbelt player, defensive player of the year, 5'11", 225, 120 tackles, 1.5 sacks, 4 forced fumbles, 1 pass breakup, 3 straight years with 100 or more tackles. He would be a slam dunk get. I do have questions about his sideline speed, but if you play him in the box, he would be a killer pickup for us, guys. Draylen Washington out of Louisiana, 5'9", 225, 73 carries, 478 yards, 6.5 average, 5 touchdowns. He also had 6 catches for 170 yards and a touchdown. This would be a great backup piece for Jahiem White. He played basically the same kind of offense at Louisiana, really fast-paced, tempo-based, a lot of inside zone. So it would be a really good spot for him to land. Ethan Head out of Tulane is also coming on what was the date? January 4th. This is the last January 4th guy. Freshman kicker out of Tulane, 6'1", 175. Speaking to him, he was definitely excited to come in. They say he's got 60 yards in his leg easily. So be a big pickup for us. Here we get to another one of the dream pickups, guys. Troy Stellato, 6'1", 190 out of Clemson. He'll be here January 5th. 25 receptions, 260 yards, 10.6 average and a touchdown. But he was injured, guys. He had 50 catches the year before, close to 50 or 40. I had to go back and look. It was either 40 or 450 catches the year before. He was also injured then. He is a number 1 receiver if he's healthy, but that's his issue. He has a hard time staying healthy. So this is like one of those ones where it's like high risk, high reward. So Stellato's an interesting pick. He could certainly come in here and be a number 1 receiver for us guys, or number 2, but injury history, that matters. Chris Kelly-Murray out of Sam Houston State. This is it's not even close, most wanted guy on the list. This is a 6'4", 255-pound defensive end. He had 35 tackles, 5.5 sacks, 2 forced fumbles last year at Sam Houston. He's elite at setting the edge. And what I mean by setting the edge, guys, is, okay, let's say we run the ball to the left side of the field. The right side defensive end's job is to set the edge and send the running back towards the middle of the field. That's usually what a defensive end's job is when the ball's coming at him. This guy does it easy. He's so good at it. Nobody gets by him, and he is an incredibly good pass rushing defensive end as well. So you get the best of both worlds. He's an elite run stopper, but he's also a great pass rusher. He's got incredible length. He really reminds me of Tommy Durajayi a little bit. He's like that, but he plays on the outside a little bit more. So would be a huge, massive pickup for us guys. But he's got Auburn. He's got Florida State. He's got everywhere after him. So we're really going to have to knock his socks off. He's coming to Morgantown January 5th. So we're going to have to knock his socks completely off for him to take this thing up on us. But look, we're in the running, and that's all we can ask for. And we got Rich Rod, man. We got him and his hot piss. January 6th, linebacker James Jahiem out of Eastern Michigan. 6'3", 245, 98 tackles, 3 sacks, 1 forced fumble, 3 pass breakups. This is one of my 5 most wanted guys on the list. This guy is a tackling machine, sideline to sideline, doesn't matter. And my buddy Noah Patterson, who plays on the offensive line there from my hometown area, also plays with him, and I've heard a lot of good things about him as a character. So he's got good character. He's a hard worker. And 6'3", 245 is just incredible size, guys. It would be great to have. He's definitely a huge, huge get if we can pull him off. January 7th, Adam Tomczyk, which is spelled Tomz or Cyzk, but it's pronounced Tomczyk, out of Cerritos Community College, 6'4", 245, 43 tackles, 4 sacks, 2 forced fumbles. This guy's like a J.J. Watt build. That's what he looks like when you think about how he looks. But he is he's a really good 3-down front defensive end. A guy that you can play inside or out, and is a very hard-nosed player. From what I understand, we've got a really good chance to get this one, and he's excited. I've been speaking with him. We have a lot with him as far as the chance for him to actually commit. So be looking for Adam Tomczyk on January 7th. Cam Thompson, which is one of the most interesting players on the entire list, out of Northern Illinois, also January 7th, 6 feet, 200 pounds, 28 receptions, but 400 yards, 14 touchdown, 14 yard per catch average, and 3 touchdowns. They say this is a legit 4-2, 4-3 guy, guys. Kickoff return specialist, punt return specialist, wide receiver, similar to E.J. Horton for us a few years back, a guy that you can send down the field, take the top off the defense, and keep the field stretched out. I call them chiropractors for defenses because they pop them, they stretch that back out. And you've got to stay with your eyes on, if you're in the backfield, you're beat. So up next on Locked On West Virginia, guys, I got to go to break. We'll finish talking about these visitors. Stick around for that. This is Locked On West Virginia. And this episode of Locked On West Virginia is brought to you by FanDuel, guys. The NFL playoffs are almost here, but it's not too late to get into the regular season action with FanDuel, America's #1 sports book. Right now, new customers can finish the season strong with $250 in bonus bets if you win your first $5 bet. Make sure you do it. All you have to do is pick up the W with FanDuel, guys. I love betting on which players are going to score and how many points each team will score. It's a thrilling thing, especially when you get it off. Not only can you bet on who will win the game, but FanDuel also has bets for which players will score a touchdown, how many points each team will score, and so much more. All you have to do is visit FanDuel.com to join today. That's FanDuel.com for your chance to win $250 in bonus bets. Make every moment more, guys, with FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the National Football League. And we are back on Locked On West Virginia, guys. I know you've been sitting here listening to me ramble about different visitors. So trying to get through this list really quick. There's only a few more. So we are on January 9th. We just got done talking about Cam Thompson, the Northern Illinois speedster. Dallas Holmes was Lafayette College, 6'5", 238, 12 receptions, 112 yards, 9.3 average. I went and checked this kid out because obviously his stat line isn't great. This is a punishing Owen Schmidt, break your face mask, tight blocking tight end. There's a reason Power 5 teams are offering this guy, and it's not because he catches the ball well. It's not because he's bad at it. He wasn't really thrown to a lot. But this guy will break your face mask. Go look this kid up. This kid knocks people's heads off. Dallas Holmes, Holmes. I was in shock. Go watch this kid lead around the edge as a tight end. Neil Brown, as much as he loved to use tight ends, would have went bonkers for this kid. This kid absolutely knocks people's teeth out. You got to go check him out. And one of my super sleepers on the list. He is a tough guy, hard-edged, and there's a reason Rich Rod's going after him. All right, so now we are going to the dates to be determined, guys. We'll fly through these because they're not visiting yet. They may not visit. Let me get a drink. My voice is crackly. The Memphis defensive tackle, William Whitlow, who's being chased by everybody. 6'2", 260 pounds, 24 tackles, 4 sacks, 4 fumble, 1 pass breakup. He can play inside or out. Martavis Prince, one of the best players in Conference USA, linebacker, 6'2", 225, 80 tackles, 1 sack, 3 pass breakups. He would be one of the dream ones on the list, guys. Seriously, he is. Maybe you can make an argument he's the best player on the list. David Pantelis, who I spoke to and was able to release this news. What is it, the day before yesterday? 5'11", 196, 61 receptions, 900 yards, and 14.8 average, and 8 touchdowns. And one of my favorite players on the list as well. He is a stud at wide receiver and a 1-for-1 replacement of Hudson Clement, in my opinion. Then you got Crew Wakely out of BYU. If there's a swagger champion on this list, this is it. This guy that walks around, I mean, he didn't fit BYU. If you go watch him in his interviews and how he speaks, he is definitely not what you would expect. He has a lot of swagger to him and talks like it. So go check him out. Crew, Crew, Wakely or Walkley, safety out of BYU, 6 foot, 200 pounds, 44 tackles, 1 sack, 2 interceptions, and a pass breakup. Man, this guy has so much crap talk in him. It's crazy. Dion would love him. Sasha Garcia, William & Mary corner, 6'2", 185, 19 tackles, 10 pass breakups. But he had a lot of honors there at William & Mary. And then Brody Cossin out of Indiana, 6'6", 235. No stats, didn't play in Indiana last year under Signetti. But from what I was able to look into, he is another teeth knocker. He's a guy that will knock your helmet off. So be watching for him as well, to be determined. We'll see if he comes in and visits us. All right, that's the list, guys. So I'm excited about it. I think we're going to get – and look, like somebody else pointed out on something I seen earlier, they're going to have probably double or triple that many names come through in the next 2 weeks. Those are just the people that their agents have told or will talk to us. So there's a lot of – one thing that makes it hard, I think, is – when you reach out to people, this is my job. There's like 5 or 6 people that are already reaching out to some of these guys, and they're just not answering everybody. They're not, because there's so many people reaching out to them. So it makes it hard to get a hold of people. But, I mean, as long as the information is available, I really don't care. I just want to be able to report it, get it out there, and all that kind of stuff. Can't be on the inside for every one of these. I would like to be. I would love to be the only person they can talk to. That's just not how it works. So, you might hear it from me. You might hear it from somebody else. But at the end of the day, this isn't an exact science. There is no exact science to it. Everybody wants the same information from the same people. And so just go easy on us, because in my case, I mean, look, some of these guys have said they're going to visit. They may not show up on January 7th or January 5th. That doesn't mean I was wrong. It just means they didn't follow through or couldn't follow through or decided to go somewhere else. Because, look, there are going to be guys that are on that January 5th, 6th, 7th list that commit somewhere else. They're going to get their socks knocked off at Missouri or at Auburn or at UCF. And they're going to commit right away. And the coaches are going to be pushing for them to commit. So, I would say that if you look at the list, The way I kind of look at it is, there's no guarantee, but I would say that this list is probably somewhat of I would say who they want, or who they think they can get is first on the list, or maybe it's first come first serve. I don't know anything, but I would say anybody from January 4th on in, we've got a better shot at, just because those guys are going to be going 3 or 4 visits in that many days or inside of a week, and at the end of the day, we're not going to get them all. So that's right. Piss level is boiling, baby. That's a great shirt. I might make it. But you guys be interested in some merch, by the way? I was going to ask this. I've got my MP logo I can use on some stuff, but since the Country Roads Trust isn't using the stuff with the urine labels, I'll use it. If I make some stuff with Rich Rod and how they say he pisses hot, would you guys be interested in some merch with Rich Rod talking about his urine? I guess I don't know how better to say it. It's obviously meant for humor, that kind of stuff. So if I'm able to get some of that stuff out there, would you guys be interested? Let me know in the comments. Hats, whatever you want. I'll get some stuff going. Obviously, I got a Locked On West Virginia hat here. Can't sell that, but I can't put my logo on it or whatever. So, yeah, I love it. No excuses, piss is boiling. I love that. We'll figure one out. We'll figure out a couple. But I just, actually what's funny, and you can ask Coos about this, but I sent him a message probably a week or so before Rich Rod got hired with ideas for merch. Hold the rope, spot the ball. Apparently I wasn't the only person that had the idea, because the day he got hired, Country Roads Trust rolled out all that stuff. And even though I still wanted to do it, I didn't, because obviously I'm not going to challenge the trust. Daniel, I would say that Huddy Tuddy is becoming more unlikely as the day goes. So, unfortunate as it is, I'm not expecting him to come back, but I'll be honest, I haven't checked into it. Not even a little bit. Not that I don't want him back. It's just when I was paying attention to it, the information was hard to get. So I'll ask around and we'll see. Other than that, guys, thank you for listening on podcast. Obviously, you guys don't know everything that I'm talking about at the moment because you can't see. But sometimes I answer the chat when they're asking questions and I forget to read them out loud. Somebody asked me any update on Huddy Tuddy, which is Hudson Clement. Thank you guys for joining. By the way, we're 600 strong in here. If you could do me a huge favor, the only thing I really want, I don't want money or anything. I just want to, if you guys could share the video out for me, which is, all you have to do is hit repost on Twitter, or if you copy and paste the StreamYard or not StreamYard, but the link up above where you type WWW in, copy and paste that in like Facebook or on X. Continue to help me grow. Guys, we have grown 800. Let me show you really quick before we get off here. I'm running late, but I wanted to show you this because this is you guys, man. You guys are really blowing me up. Like, serious. I'm not even trying to be braggadocious here. I just want you guys to see this because this is you all. Like, seriously. Let's see. All right, so we are at 830. Oh, we are at 837 new subscribers this month. That's a lot. That's almost 1,000 in a month. I'll take that. So you guys are helping me crush this, and I can't thank you enough. Keep hitting that subscribe button. Keep hitting that like. Keep hitting those follows, man, and let's keep growing this thing. And let's make this the biggest one on YouTube. There's no reason we can't be. Everybody's welcome here, no matter your background, no matter your past, no matter what you believe. I'm all about it. So I'm all about, us just getting along and hopefully, we'll keep it going. Other than that, guys, I thank you for being here. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Until then, if we got any other news, I'll see you again. But until then, this message is over, and I'm out of here.